I had quite a few ask questions about behaviors and the way that they're handled and if everybody had them. And this is going to be the second time I've recorded this. For whatever reason, the last one didn't want to upload. So it's been a few days since I read your questions, so hopefully I remember them. The big thing that I can remember being asked is that, does everybody with autism have behavior struggles? And the answer is no. Just like people in general, everybody's different. The way you handle things, the issues and the struggles that we have and our strengths and weaknesses, they're different from person to person. And that's the same with people living with autism. Some struggle with their behavior, some social skills, some communication. But no two are alike. So it isn't always going to be a physical behavior struggle. That said, it can be. And when I say behavior struggles, I mean it can get physical. People get hurt. It's not easy. In fact, it's the hardest thing ever. But you live and you learn and you work through things. The big question I remember being asked was about in public. When they happen in public, how do you handle them? Do you address people? Do you not address people? And I think it depends on a case-by-case basis. When the kids were little and they were more likely to have behavior struggles in public, I found myself wanting to say something. And honestly, it would depend on the mood that you'd catch somebody in. I apologize, the sun is bright and I'm sitting in the car, but it depends on the mood probably too of the person. You know, if I haven't gotten much sleep and this is the third day in a row of major behavior issues and I'm not feeling well and I'm tired and my stomach hurts and I have a migraine or whatever, I'm more likely to probably snap at someone for being rude or judgmental. If I'm not struggling, minus this specific instance, I may be less likely to respond. I think it's a good time to use it as a teaching tool, but I think it depends on where the parent or the caregiver or the guardian is at that specific time. Sometimes it's easy to not say anything at all. And, you know, I've had my fair share of instances where people have been pretty rude. They say bad things about your kid or they question your parenting skills. And I can say unequivocally that that's not warranted, it's not wanted, and it's not helpful. I do implore people to be accepting, be understanding. Not every kid you see that has a tantrum or meltdown or public display of naughty behavior is a child with a disability. But some of them are. So save the judgment and maybe move more towards understanding. Even if there's no disability there, if we understand where that child or that family or that parent is coming from, then maybe we can help. Sometimes not judging and being rude is a helpful thing. Sometimes you can offer an extra set of hands. You know, if it's a child who's overwhelmed, imagine how that parent feels, helpless and overwhelmed. These behaviors can look different, obviously, from person to person. In our family, they can be pretty physical. And I have 3 boys who are now bigger than I am. So, excuse me. It can take its toll on a person. I don't love them any less. I don't try to make their life better any less. But some days it's overwhelming. And some days I feel like the biggest failure as a parent. All you can do is love your child and teach them right from wrong and equip them with the tools and techniques to make better choices. Because ultimately they have to live in society with or without you. And if we don't teach them now, or if we allow them to use their diagnosis as an excuse, then chances are they're not going to find overall happiness or success. I can tell you without a doubt in my family, the first time that one of the boys used their diagnosis as excuse was the last. It was addressed immediately and explained that it's a piece of the understanding, so we understand how they get there, but it is never an excuse, and it's never okay. And I think that that's an important thing to instill in everybody. Their diagnosis is not an excuse, but it is an aspect of who they are and might lead to you having a little better understanding. So without going into anything that I'm sure that my kids don't want me to share, I'm going to end it there. Hopefully I'm back on track to daily or almost daily vlogs. It's been a little rough behaviorally, ironically enough, in our family lately, so the behavior questions were ironically brought at the right time, but it's also the wrong time because it's still so fresh it's hard to talk about. So if you have questions, concerns, obviously same spiel as I give every time, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your feedback. And what can I say? Spread awareness, spread acceptance, and, accept everybody, love everybody, make this world a better place.